there were 5 hours between when he got into the accident and when he actually passed away. There was 5 hours when my family could have spent time with my grandfather that we don't have and we will never have. I think suddenly it just became more real for me at that point of okay, there are real stakes, real time that we're giving back to people when they might not have any, they might be running out of it. I think it really refueled my tank for why we do what we do and allowed me to, suit up again the next day and show up and keep running through walls.
In the midst of all of this craziness, I appreciate you sitting to talk even more with me.
I'll sit and talk with you all day long, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've been talking to all the team members, and a lot of them have been very outspoken of their love for tendercare, and not only just tendercare, but their love for your mission and the vision behind tendercare and what it means to be here, and that they would follow you through whatever it is, whether you're going to build this or build the next thing or wherever you go, they're going to be there. What does that mean to you?
It's such a privilege, and that's such a responsibility, right? Because when I think about our team, you have these incredible and incredibly talented individuals who could be working on so many different problems. We have no shortage of problems in this world. And so to make that choice every day, to spend that vital energy, our life on solving this problem means that I need to hold up my end of the bargain, right? Which is set a real direction, set order in how we make sense of this problem and can actually apply all these precious skills and talents towards legitimately solving it. So to me, it's both an honor and also a deep responsibility to make sure that none of that energy is squandered.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you tip either too far either way, where it's too much of a responsibility, or it's, wow, this is incredible, I have to pull through?
I think I try to stay balanced, but oftentimes it's one or the other. Sometimes I'm like, this is so fun. When we get a call from the paramedic and he's like, can I have, 250 more of these tender IDs? And it's like, oh my God, the thrill of something actually working. And then it's super fun. And then there's other times when I need a nap and I've been up every night with my 3.5-year-old and I haven't gotten any sleep. And I've probably run into more walls than I have figured out solutions. And then it feels like a really heavy responsibility. Do I have enough wits about me? Do I have enough horsepower? Do I have enough energy to actually help lead this team on really solving what feels like sometimes such a complicated set of problems? Am I going to be enough to rise up to that responsibility? And that's when it starts to get a little heavy. And so then I need to go out on a run or go shake it off a little bit.
Yeah. Outside looking in, seeing the life of a CEO, it seems like, at least in the very beginning stages, it's a lot of redlining. Do you feel like you're in a good place where you found the rhythm of redlining and then backing off the gas a little bit because you need a break?
And when you mean redlining, tell me what you mean by that.
It seems like, I guess I should, yeah. So outside looking in, because you're a founder, and not just a founder, you're also a mother of children who you have to who depend on you to stay alive. Yeah. You clock out of tendercare, and now you have to be a mom. How do you find the balance between both, or do you feel like you're drowning in all of the responsibility?
Well, I think it's kind of like working out. The more you work out, the more you can lift, right? And so it's kind of this weird bomb power where I don't know what happens, but I have found you can do so much more on so much less sleep, less energy. Yeah. It's this weird superpower of being a mom. But that doesn't mean I don't definitely get tired sometimes, where you're hitting it so hard. You've forgotten lunch that day. Your blood sugar is crashing, like I just had. And that's where I'm starting to get better at learning the signs of that and then doing whatever I need to then boost my energy again. So maybe it's take a nap, maybe it's go on a run, maybe it's have a sandwich. I don't know. And then kind of get your head back in the game. But I do think being a founder, especially in the early stage, I say this all the time, it is like a sport. And you have to apply the same mentality of a sport to it, which is that, when it comes down to game time, you make it look easy because of all the practice you've put in behind the scenes. And so much of this is actually just committing to the practice of what happens every day when you show up, every sort of rep that you take in order to be ready when it's really game time. And those game times, they come in the form of, finally a big institution saying, okay, we'll meet with you. Like, let's talk. Like what happened just this morning, and being prepared to rise to the occasion when the moment actually is ready for you. And you can't always control that. Ideally, it would happen on my schedule, right? But like sometimes, like, I've been chasing that meeting for maybe 6 months, and somehow you still have to like show up and be excited about it and be ready to go and be okay also with surrendering to the fact that I can't control sometimes when some of these opportunities, rise up and we're ready to make some serious moves and have some real impact.
Yeah. I know you have no shortage of stories of either caregivers or small businesses that we work with that really fuel the fire. Aside from the call that we had earlier with the fire person, the EMT or whatever, the paramedic. Yeah. What's the latest story or thing that you've heard from somebody where you're like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing here?
It's. I had this insight last week, I think. And when we go out and into rooms, and it's my job to really like get the good word out about all the work that our team is doing. And I go into some of these rooms and I explain what we're doing, simple things like being ready for an emergency, having, an ability for a paramedic to actually call someone in the family. I start to get kind of familiar with that. And I'm like, okay, of course, this is a good thing. Just like brushing your teeth is a good thing. I was sharing this in a room during the UN General Assembly, and I was explaining what we're doing with our tender IDs. And when I was done, one of the women who was there, who was actually hosting this event, she came up to me and she started crying. And I hear a lot of stories about families and I hear what experiences they've had. And it's an honor to listen to those stories. But this story was actually a story about what hadn't gone well, which was that this woman's grandfather, he had been in his 80s. He had kept driving long past when he probably should have. And the family had been too uncomfortable to take away the keys. He had gone into an accident, what ultimately turned out to be a fatal accident. And there were 5 hours between when he got into the accident and when he actually passed away. And they weren't able to get in contact with the family during those 5 hours. They didn't know who he was. These things take time. When you're in the system, it takes many, many hours to actually find and track down who someone is and then who you should call to make sure that that family knows. And so she was crying because what she said to me was, there was 5 hours when my family could have spent time with my grandfather that we don't have and we will never have. And this tool would have made all the difference for our family. And I think suddenly it just became more real for me at that point of okay, there are real stakes. There is real time that we're giving back to people when they might not have any. They might be running out of it. That I think I've always known on more of a theoretical level, but hearing her explain this in light of her grandfather and, the tragedy of what happened, I think it really refueled my tank for why we do what we do and allowed me to, suit up again the next day and show up and keep running through walls to, get this into as many hands as possible.
Yeah. What gives you hope that this is the team that's going to help us do it?
this is just the biggest hearted, most phenomenal, skilled group of people who believe in devoting their life to something bigger than themselves. That's such a rare combination of attributes. You can get one of those things in a lot of different people if you're lucky, but having all of those things in a person is very rare to find. And I feel so lucky that to a person, that is our founding team. It's our founding team. Everyone has a special form of genius and is willing to do the hard work and commit with the generosity of giving that genius to this problem, that big part of themselves that, you know, I just haven't seen. And I've had many teams all filled with incredibly talented people, but this concentration of talent and generosity of spirit is pretty unique, and I obviously have a bias. I love our team more than anybody. I'm like, I go so hard for our team, but also like I've heard that in people who have left and wanted to come back. And you even hear it. I don't know if this is unique to us. I think it is. Even when, for different reasons, people have to, whether it's family planning or, it's, other reasons, have to move on from our team. What to a T I hear over and over again is, this is the best team I've ever been a part of. Wow. You can literally go ask Tim and ask her. I'm not lying. And so I think it's also that we know we're building something special. We've got some magic here. You know it when you have it. And, when you have it, you got to like hold on to it with both hands.
We speak a lot to caregivers and to small businesses who are in this space. Let's talk a little bit to the upcoming CEOs and founders. You talk a lot about team, and you can't do this without an amazing founding team. What attributes are you looking for in a founding team?
You need a very high degree of figure it outness, right? Because there are going to be so many rocks under the water and so many unexpected, plot twists that come to anyone who's actually solving a problem worth solving, that if you don't have a high degree of figure it outness in your founding team, you will be demoralized, you'll lose hope, you'll turn back, you'll find something else to do pretty quickly. You won't have the get up and go to actually drive you up to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I love that. You got to trademark that figure it outness. Yeah. Find it inside.
There you go. Exactly.
That's great. Cool. Thanks, Shauna.
Oh, I love you, Chris.
So good. I love you. This is so. I can't tell you like how much of a joy it is to like be able to do this with you and the rest of the team. Like the people that you've assembled, and I say that very intentionally. Like you've assembled all of these people. It is amazing to be around all these people, and like we all say, like it's the energy of the team, it's the vibe. But like I think everybody truly means that, and there is no better way to say that.
Oh, it really is the best. You think about it, like if you're putting together the Beatles, you need to be pretty intentional about that, yeah, right? Like you don't want just like any old bassist or any guitarist or any vocalist. Like no, you need Ringo, you need John, right? Yeah. I don't know the names of all the other ones. Yeah. There we go, Paul. You need, and they need to be a unique human being at that moment in time. There is no other Paul. There's no other John, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we have here, and I think everyone who's part of it knows it. Like, and I know this because I hear it from those like Sim, who literally will call me up on the phone and be like, "I have to tell you, I've been thinking about this. Yeah. This is literally where the best team on the planet of anyone that I've ever had a chance to work with sits. Can I please come and be a part of this again?" Wow. And I'm always like, come on board. Like this problem needs that type of energy in order to actually meet the challenge. You need that, right? And you hear people talk about this in different ways. It's like the happy hustle. Yeah. I think what they really mean is like a little bit of magic. There's like a little bit of magic that happens when you put the right human beings in the same room, if you will, that ends up creating these sort of like extraordinary outsized achievements, truly. Like, and you can pinpoint them in every different industry. It's like you get the right group in the right room, and all of a sudden, like history happens.
Yeah.
And how cool is it to actually be a part of that?
So cool.
Be like, oh, I was there when.
And I've quickly learned, talking to everybody else, that there is no amount of money, benefits, like there's no amount of cookies, snacks, whatever, that's going to keep somebody on a team. It's really just who is the founder, who is leading the ship, what is the rest of the team like, and what are we driving towards? That's what's going to keep people. It's not like all the extra stuff that people think that it is. Right. It's the money. It's the because if that were the case, then all of us would have done like
I know you're like great free snacks. I'm gonna go with free Snackville over there, right?
We've done completely like different things.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I know. And how wonderful is it to have a group of people who understand that?
Yeah.
You know, they're after a different thing. I also think like the work changes if that's what you're really in it for.
Yeah.
Because if it's really just a means towards comfort, right? That's already a different type of a person who's like not actually interested in doing the hard thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And so like you're never actually going to achieve it. You might like make some noises like you are, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not sustainable at all. Yeah.
Exactly.
So good.
Cool. I love this.